एकनाथी भागवत सत्संग। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वताय नमः। ओम श्री गुरु दत्तात्रेय नमः। ओम श्री महालक्ष्मी नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः। गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। So we are doing Shri Eknathi Bhagwat. We are doing the Eknathi Bhagwat Satsang. We will be continuing chapter 2 and verse 77. I will read the verse. One who has turned away from the Lord loses the memory of his real self due to his Maya and falls prey to the mistaken belief that he is the body. He is then seized by the fear caused by duality, which is the identification with other thing than the self. Therefore, the wise should worship God by only the devotion, believing that he himself as Atman, his Guru and God are one. So we completed till sub-verse 463. So now we'll be continuing Eknathi Bhagwat, chapter 2, verse 77 and sub-verse 464 onwards. The statement is like this: those who take resort in me can only go beyond this great Maya, so no other measures will be useful here. Those who are devotees of God can easily go beyond Hari's Maya. So where did we stop in yesterday's satsang? What we learnt was only devotion to God is capable of discarding this great Maya. The Lord Sri Krishna has in his Gita already told this to Arjuna, that this is the fact and this is the truth. So here he is also talking about, so this statement is like this: those who take resort in me means who? Sri Krishna Paramatma can only go beyond this great Maya. So no other measures will be useful here. Those who are the devotees of God can easily go beyond Hari's Maya. Then the Lord Sri Krishna has opened up his heart to Arjuna and told him the secret that the devotees of Hari can go beyond Hari's Maya very easily. Now when we say Hari, understand we're talking about Vishnu. We're talking about Mahavishnu or Vishnu, that's Narayana form. We are not talking about Krishna Paramatma here. Of course, Vishnu is in form of Krishna Bhagwan, but here when he's saying Hari's Maya, but Hari is also Krishna Bhagwan, one of his name, but the forms are varied. Okay. The main quality of Maya is that it turns the attention of Jiva away from its own self, and becoming very strong by the sense of duality always increases the triple aspects of illusion, which are the thing observed, the act of observing, and the observer, that is conceived as three separate things. So let us understand what Eknath Maharaj is saying here. The main quality of Maya is that it turns away the attention of Jiva away from its own self, and becoming very strong by the sense of duality always increases the triple aspects of illusion, which are, number one is what? The thing observed. So anything you observe, what are the three important things that you observe? People, places and things. Everything is surrounding these three aspects alone: people, places and things. So things that you observe, number one. The second one is the act of observing. Now this act of observing varies with individual to individual. Not everybody's observation is the same. Now the act of observing, why is it very important, is simply because, see, understand, everybody's mind is very unique. Okay, the mind's nature, the mind's, what the mind does is one alone, but how every individual use their mind is very different. So how you perceive an object from one individual is very different from the other. So what happens here? The act of observing will vary. It is not going to be the same, and that is why the judgments are formed. So every human being is very judgmental. So one of the most important thing in spirituality which the Guru teaches you is how to be non-judgmental about anything, whether it is people, places or things. Don't not judge anyone, because everything is based on your mind. So when you see an object, so here it is the act of observing. So what are you doing? You're using your eyes, that's a vision, that's a sense organ. You're looking at it. The moment you look at an object, there is a perception happening. Your mind is already gone there. Then it is making a judgment. It is giving you some answers. It is telling you, oh yeah, you know this, you don't know this. And then the intellect is used to reason it out. And everything is conceived. What is the word you use? Conceived. So whether you're perceiving or it's conception, you're conceiving it based on your ability to understand or based on your little knowledge that you have. You're trying to use the intellect to understand. So we are forming judgmental. So what we form is the judge. What are we doing? You're judging something. So one of the things in the spiritual world which the Guru says is, do not judge anything. Don't be judgmental at all. Because what is happening? Everything is based on your mind. The moment you start judging, your mind has come in existence, and what you end up going through is called ignorance. Because the truth is never going to be revealed to you. Next, and the observer. Now, who is observing? Now, you will say, I am observing. Now, who is this observer? The I is observing. Who's the I here? You can say, oh, myself. Self, you don't know yet, right? So somebody is observing. So this I is observing. So all three are separate according to you. Why? Because Maya has come into existence. So let us continue. So please understand that the sense of duality is the creator of fear, and Maya is the creator of duality. While the self-knowledge, the knowledge of Brahman, is the destroyer of this Maya. This is the advice of really wise people. See, this is very beautiful. And one of the most important lessons, I think, a while since last two verses, one of the very important lesson which Eknath Maharaj is explaining and Krishna Bhagwan is teaching Uddhava is fear. Why do you fear anything in this world? Why is it being emphasized? Because fear is ignorance. When you have ignorance, where will you get the light? That's knowledge. Knowledge will not come. And we learned yesterday very beautifully, knowledge can only shine when you have love and devotion to the Divine Lord. Without devotion, knowledge doesn't shine. This is very conflicting, right? Because first here your Gurudev is giving you the knowledge, and here we are saying, okay, knowledge will not imbibe. We can't imbibe the knowledge till we don't have devotion, which is very true. Yesterday I gave you a very interesting story about Uddhava. You know, when Krishna Bhagwan, when Lord Shri Krishna sends Uddhava to meet the gopis, he tells them that Krishna Bhagwan has told that he's going to give you this knowledge and all that, right? So I was giving you the story. But what I didn't complete is, Lord Shri Krishna wanted to also teach Uddhava through this experience that the greatest thing is not knowledge, it is love and devotion. And how the gopis were so devoted to Shri Krishna Bhagwan. So he wanted Uddhava also to get this knowledge, that's an experience. So when the gopis initially, what happens is when Uddhava goes there, he looks like, Krishna Bhagwan. So everybody goes and jumps on him, they touch him, they're just excited. They think Krishna Bhagwan has come. But the moment they realize, oh no, that is not Krishna Bhagwan, it is Uddhava, that illusion breaks. And then they're like, oh no, you are not our Krishna, Then Uddhava wonders, why are these gopis acting so weird? So that was an experience and a lesson even for Uddhava to first understand it is not knowledge that is important. Most important is devotion, love and devotion. Do you have the love and devotion like the gopis have for Krishna Bhagwan? That was very important. And once you have that, knowledge opens up itself. It reveals itself because knowledge is covered with avidya, which is ignorance. So what is most important for you to destroy is your fear. When you have fear, knowledge will not rest there because it is supreme knowledge. We are talking the knowledge of the Divine Lord Almighty. He is giving you the Brahmanyan. He is giving you Jnana. So this Vidya, without Shri Krishna Bhagwan's grace, will not open up. If you have this fear and all the Shadripus and most important, ignorance covered, how will the knowledge shine? It is not going to. First, you have to develop this devotion. Bhakti is very, very important. Till your selfishness is there, till you have all that petty human nature, very petty nature, knowledge will not evolve. And most important, this devotion also will not spring within you. So what you have to do is the sadhana, the practice. So how do you overcome the fear? Now that you're listening, you need to reason out. When you reason out, that is contemplation. First you're listening, then you need to contemplate, then you have to meditate. And when this knowledge becomes firm within you through the devotion to the God, then you will be able to break out of this Maya. That is what he's saying. So what is he saying? Please understand that the sense of duality is the creator of fear. The sense of duality itself, I think we've gone through this so much in detail. And Eknath Maharaj is also constantly saying the same thing. Why? Because it has to hit you very hard. Till you do not understand this truth, you're still going to be lost in your material world. See, my Guruji, he says something very beautiful. He says, you can sit in my satsangs, yet no knowledge will go within. Because if you do not make an effort, if you still listen in, and if you don't go and practice it or even evolve, what is the point in listening to this knowledge? The grace of the God also will not work, because your mind is so strong, you're still attached to those objects, and you're still going to be afraid of people, places and things. These things are going to be very predominant. And yesterday's satsang and today's satsang in Tripura Rahasyam, he gave a very, very important lesson. Today's lesson was so powerful. What is the most important lesson he talked about? He talked about something very important. The faith in the words of the Guru. If the Guru tells you, when you have your Guru, the devotion to the Guru is the most important thing. Faith in his words is more important. And if you don't understand any of these things, then what is the point even in sitting for the satsang? Because you have to have that absolute faith. You need to develop the devotion. Till you don't do that, then the knowledge will not shine within. It's a very, very powerful lesson. And that is something we need to understand. And most important, what did he teach? He talked about the mental impressions. And the person who doesn't have these two things, right? One is the faith in the Guru and following the instructions of the Guru. What happens? The mental impressions, where the misapprehensions happen, where the mind raises the doubt. What is going to happen tomorrow? My Guruji has asked me to come to India, or my Guruji has told me to do this. What am I going to do? What is going to be my future? Why are you bothered? Do you think you determine the destiny, whether it is yours or anybody else's in the world? Nothing is under your control. So just by thinking, aren't you creating doubts? The more you think, the more the doubts come about. And what happens? Instead of growing in faith, you become faithless. Because the moment there is a doubt, your faith is destroyed. So what the most common example, there is a bottle of Ganga water. It's Ganga Jal, it's pure, it's purity. One drop of potassium cyanide in it, it becomes poison. So one doubt that your mind raises destroys this faith. So what happens again? So the knowledge, you're not going to shine. You're actually going down. It's covering you over and over again. And who's responsible? You're responsible for it. So all that effort you might have put, you might have gone 10 steps ahead, but one doubt will make you go back 100 steps behind. So again, you have to put more effort into going up. So this is a very common mistake every disciple makes, every devotee makes. So be very careful about it. Then, what is he saying? So here he's saying, the knowledge of Brahman is the destroyer of Maya. So when you are getting this knowledge about the truth, the Maya gets destroyed, provided you establish this firmly within your heart. This is the advice of really the wise people. In your case, who's the wise man? Forget about wise. He's the Almighty Lord. He's your Guru. But this knowledge of Brahman is the adopted child of devotion. If there is no devotion, there will never be the knowledge of Brahman. They are both, how do you say? They're two sides of the same coin. Means what? So, but this knowledge of Brahman is the adopted child of devotion. So, knowledge comes through devotion. First, you need to have devotion. Bhakti is a very important aspect. Knowledge comes eventually. And if there is no devotion, there will never be the knowledge of Brahman. So without having devotion to your Guru and God, please understand, take this from me. This is the truth. Eknath Maharaj is saying this. You can never have the knowledge of Brahman. You can never realize yourself. It's never going to happen at all. And this is the supreme truth. Then, persons who are erudite pandits in Vedas and sciences, but are not devotees of the Lord, will never have the knowledge of Brahman, which discards the Maya. So there are a lot of great panditjis in our world, no, who'll spout, they'll spout Vedas and they'll say, oh, I know this, I have by hearted Bhagavad Gita, I know all the 730 verse, I know this verse, I know that verse. But what is he saying? They might be great scholars, they might know all the sciences, they might be the knowers of the Vedas, you can spout all that knowledge, but are not the devotees of the Lord. So when you are not the devotees of the Lord, how will the real knowledge even come to you? And so what is he saying? We'll never have the knowledge of Brahman. So the Maya will never go out of their life. Now who are these Panditji? The so-called the great Brahmins in this world, who claim themselves, oh, we now know the Veda. They will chant, they will recite all sorts of things. Have you seen all the Panditjis in the temple? They will spout something from their mouth, all that they'll do. And they'll say, oh, we say this suktam, that suktam, we recite this, we recite that. But what is he saying? They don't have bhakti to the divine Lord. So how will the Vedas reveal itself? The Vedas are not going to be understood by these Panditjis. All the priests, so-called Brahmin by caste. I am not talking about the knowers of the Brahman. Knowers of the Brahman, you would not even existent. They are not even close to Brahmin. They are only Brahmin by caste. And they have this great ego. Oh, we are Brahmins, we are from Sama Ved, we are from Athar Ved, we practice this, we do this. But what are you doing? Egoistically. Where is bhakti? Where is humility? Have you ever seen them having any humility? And you go to all these temples today, the worst part is all these Brahmins have, commercialized God. If you go to some temple, so I visited a very beautiful temple in Kumbakonam. It was one of these Lord Shiva's temple. There was hardly anybody in the temple. But the Moolastan, the Garbhagraha, where the god is, the Sanctum Sanctorum, it was very far off. I said, I was not wearing my glasses, and I said, can I just stand a little inside? And there were some people behind me, and they had paid this money to the Panditji. So he allowed them to go. I just said, give me 2 minutes. I just want to go, literally just do namaskar and go. And he said, I'm sorry, you're not allowed. I asked him, oh, so you expect money. The moment I remove money and give you, you'll allow, is it? So God is commercial. And you know what he's telling me? Ma'am, don't talk like this. There is CCTV. It is getting recorded. These people are thieves right now. You think they will attain any God? On the contrary, they're doing sin every moment in life. This is not the way to behave. You're serving God, and over there you're creating so many sins. You don't even have that ability to understand what you're doing is going to lead you into some miserable hell. You're not even going to any Vaikunta way, any Kailasha. Lord Shiva will honestly be angry with you. On the contrary. So this is what happened. So what does that tell you? That there is no real knowledge. They're covered by Maya. And what is Maya? Lust and greed. They are made to do those kind of actions because they don't understand the truth about this Veda. What is the truth? They don't have bhakti. They're doing because it is their livelihood. They are not doing prayers over there, in devotion. So no devotion will come to them. So where do you think this knowledge about the Brahman is going to come to them? And they can never get out of Maya. That is what Eknath Maharaj is saying. Then the description in words about what is Brahman, etc. will help to enhance the popularity, but without devotion to God, the knowledge of Brahman, which destroys the Maya, cannot be attained. Very clear. What is he saying? The description in the words about what is Brahman, etc. will help to enhance the popularity. Means what? So they are spouting, okay? So people say, oh, look, they know Vedas. They are just talking so nicely. It's describing, it's just words, mere words, without even understanding the true meaning of the Vedas. Vedas are the framework. And what is Vedas? I have told a million times in all my satsangs. Vedas are the angas of Krishna Bhagwan. They are the various parts of his body. The Vedas have emanated from Krishna Bhagwan's his body, he's the Paramatman. From him these Vedas have come. Only God can teach you what these Vedas mean. What is the true meaning in that Veda? Panditji can understand. You can go to any school, any class. You can go and learn from all sorts of people. The truth is never going to be revealed because this is codices. The scriptures are, it's hidden. It's secrets. They're all codices. Only Krishna Bhagwan himself has to manifest to give you this understanding of what the words mean. What are the true meaning of those words? not anybody else in this world. So this is the truth one needs to understand. So what is he saying? The description in words about what is Brahman, etc. will help to enhance the popularity. But without devotion to God, the knowledge of Brahman, which destroys Maya, cannot be attained. So you become famous because there are a lot of, all these blind people who follow one blind man. No, this whole world is like that. They're all blind. So everybody is going to get, they're going towards the destruction. And that everybody will follow these blind people. So like that, everybody is following these great people. They have become very popular. Have you seen a lot of Babajis in the world? They wear fancy garments. They call themselves some great names. They call themselves whatever they feel like, enlightened being. They are beyond God also. They will tell they are God Almighty and dole out some nonsensical things to you. And you will be one of those people who will follow these kind of idiots in this world. And then what happens? You are also going to go into that same karma. The gutter and the sin, nothing else. You're not going to get anything. And then what happens? All this popularity you will get. But what will you not get? Without devotion to God, the knowledge of Brahman, which destroys this Maya, this thing that I am some great scholar, I am some great Pandit, will never be destroyed. And that is the Maya in their world. So this is what you don't understand. And then what happens? They will always be covered in the Maya. They can read whatever Veda they want. They can spout all that. They can explain. They can chant in the verses. In Sanskrit, they can recite all that. No knowledge will come to them. They will never be out of Maya. That is what Eknath Maharaj is saying. So what is most important? Love and devotion. It is not those rituals. It is not those puja. It is not those pariharams. You run behind all the temples. Nothing you will get over there. So most important is devotion to God and your Guru. Guru, most important. And today also my Guruji in Tripura Rasim gave a very fantastic lesson. The devotion to the Guru is very important. Following Guru Bhakti, Guru Seva, Guru Agya means whatever your Gurudev ordains, following that is so important. And when you don't follow his instructions using your mind, what happens? Then it is your funeral, period. The description in words, okay, we finished this. The interesting story of the Lord Hari is the true mother of self-knowledge. When the din of the name of Hari is heard, Maya runs away from life. Why this is so beautifully? He said it's Lord's Maya. See, what does he say? The knowledge of Brahman, which destroys the Maya, cannot be attained without devotion. Okay, that is understood. So what is here? The interesting story of the Lord Hari is the true mother of self-knowledge. So what are we supposed to do? We have to sing the praises or glories of Lord Hari. All his, pastimes, his leelas, what do we call? Leelas. He comes and performs all these leelas. We have to sing the glories. We have to listen to the sweet stories. And there is always truth in that. There is so much of love. It's all Madhur. Madhuradipati. He's the master of this love. His love incarnate. So we have to, glorify him. We have to praise him. We have to sing his glories. When we say sing the praises and glories, it is very important to acknowledge the greatness of the God. It is important to express your, whatever you feel about your God and Guru. We can say, oh, I don't know to explain. I don't know how to speak. You don't need how to speak. You just have to speak in whatever language that you can express yourself. Expression is a must. Bhakti without expression is not understood. My Guruji will always say, if you do not express it, how will God know? Oh, you don't say this. Everybody has this very stupid way of saying, yes, God is all knowing. But you know what? You have to verbalize. You have to express your love. You have to express your devotion, bhakti. Why do we have to sing those songs, devotional songs? It is only when you open your mouth and sing, does it reach him. He wants to listen to it. Till then, you can't gain. Don't say this, oh, he knows in my heart it is there. Of course. So tomorrow when you have something you want, it is there. No, you're not going to ask. That why you come with a katori means begging bowl and ask to him. That time your mouth will open very big. And let everybody come. The first thing they'll start off their complaints. Guruji, I have this problem, my health issues, my family, this is going on, my job is not there, my visa issues, I don't have money, all these things, I want to get married. Everything will come. But the same thing, you don't have mouth to express yourself, to acknowledge what you feel. It doesn't matter whether you know the language or you don't know the language. In the little thing that you can speak, you must learn to speak. Other things no, your mouth opens very big. Why is it you can't say? He's saying here, very important. It's a very important thing. My Guruji will always say this. You have to express. Expression is a must. Without expressing, you can't. What did Mirabai do? She sang beautiful bhajans. You think that you are going to speak? The words are of his wisdom. But when you use your mind, no words will flow from your mouth. That is the truth. The moment your mind comes, you can't express anything because you're trying to think, oh, what should I say to my Guruji? Oh, yes, he's a great Guruji. That is fake. It has to come from the innermost being of your heart. It'll just flow. The words will flow. When that is the true love, when your bhakti is so beautiful, you will not even have words. Tears will flow through your eyes. You will falter in your words. And sometimes you will just want to say, just Guruji, I love you so much. That is all it is. That expression is so beautiful. That is all you got to say. That is bhakti. That is real bhakti. And when you need to say something, just express it. Don't use your mind. This is not a material worldly nonsense. You need to prepare. Oh, I need to think how to talk to my Guruji. No, you just have to say. This is not, this is not your office, corporate world. This is spiritual world. Krishna Bhagwan's world, which is truth. Everything in the material world is fake and false. Everybody is faking over there. Absolutely. People speak only lies. You should know that. They will never say anything truth. And in this world, it is all about truth. It's all about love and devotion. It's all about bhakti. It is very sweet. So we have to speak from the innermost core of our heart. And that is the words of the divine Lord himself. That is the truth. So he just wants to see how much devotion you have or not. How much bhakti do you have or not. So he's very clear. So what does he say? The interesting story of Lord Hari is the true mother of self-knowledge. What is the true mother of self-knowledge? Interesting stories of Lord Hari. And what are we doing? Bhagavad Puranas. We are learning all the stories of his, all the Leelas. What did he do when he manifested? Aren't we doing even Guru Charitra? What are we learning? The greatness of the Gurus. Their Leelas, whatever they did. How did they do? Everything. Say Shiv Puran. It is all about Lord Shiva, no? What are we learning in Tripura Rahasyam? That is also about Goddess Tripura. And aren't there stories so beautifully explained? So, then when the din of the name of Hari is heard, Maya runs away from the life. So what is most important? Taking the name of Hari. So constantly keep chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Only then Maya will leave. Otherwise, no. And how will she live? Only with your Guru's grace. And whose Maya it is? It is his own Maya. Then Maya starts to run, but it cannot. Because as soon as the name of Hari is loudly spoken, Maya subsides and dies on the spot. Therefore, this extraordinary Maya of Hari cannot affect his devotees. How sweet it is. It's so beautiful. Whose Maya it is? Actually, just his Lord's Maya only. There's nothing like a Maya. She actually is him alone. This truth nobody can understand. It's so beautiful. He's so beautifully explaining. Maya starts to run, but it cannot. Because Maya is elusive. It's an illusion. It's not real, but it exists if you believe in it. That's the point. Because as soon as the name of Hari is loudly spoken, Maya subsides. This is so beautiful. Your Guru is always going to test you out. So he's always going to put the Maya. He means he physically is not going to do anything. His universe works. Maya Devi herself will work. Okay. And when this Maya comes, very strange, out of the blue, to different people, different things. See, because everybody's boogie is very different, right? To some it is their children, to some it is money, to some it is job, to some it is sickness, to some it is death, to some, so many things. Maya, there's no limit to Maya. She's limitless, actually. So what happens? My Guruji will ask that question, which is your weak point. And in your response, he'll gauge how do you respond, which means he'll understand where do you stand in imbibing this knowledge. How far has your spiritual knowledge been imbibed or not? How much of purity of your heart is there or not? So that answer will tell him where you stand. See, the Guru's way of assessing you is very different. He's going to constantly test you out. His job is that. There is no stopping of his testing at all. So don't think that you have reached some destination. The destination doesn't end at all. It is to eternity. So at that moment in time, based on your answer, he will understand where you stand and how much of Maya you are in or not. So depending on that, based on the answer, the Maya will disappear or it will become stronger in some cases. It will get stronger because that is what you believe, which means then you don't have faith in the words of your Guru. So in that case, what happens? Maya becomes truth for you, and your Guru becomes, he's just an ordinary mortal. That is what happens. And to many people, he was giving an example. There was one disciple who visited my Gurudev recently, and this person, he very clearly gave him an instruction saying, please don't get married. You are not allowed to get married. Don't get out. If you get married, you are going to be in trouble. It's a very clear instruction. But the person is insisting that he wants to. Now, please understand, Maya takes over, destiny takes over. The Guru can only save you provided you listen to his words. When he says do this, you have to do it that very moment. But if you think using your mind, finish. That instruction has no value after that. And the time also is very, very important. If you do not do that in that time, the time is lost. And please understand, anybody who disregards time is impacting how Maya operates in your life, because time is never going to be on your side. And that is very dangerous. And everybody goes through this because, we are in Kali Yuga and everybody uses their mind. Everybody questions the Guru. See, you will follow all the stupid instructions in your material world. If you have a husband or your children or your wife, you will listen to the tea that those people are telling you to do. Why? Because you're a servant of them. You like to be their servant. Your husband's instruction is God's instruction, or your wife's instruction will be, God's instruction. That instruction you will follow. But when the Lord Almighty is coming and telling you, please do this, where He cares about you more, He's actually protecting you. And He's taking care of you so that you do not suffer in the future. He's trying to avert that destiny for you. And here you will question all of that. You will think pros and cons and wonder, should I listen or not, or what it is. All the doubts will rankle. So, Maya becomes even stronger. So what happens? The knowledge is not going to be, established. The devotion doesn't grow. It actually declines because you've lost that faith. Since you did not listen, because the doubt came in. So the faith goes away. The faith reduces. It doesn't grow. For the bhakti to grow, you have to overcome this. Anything that your Gurudev says, just jump in. You don't even have to think because he is there. He knows your future. He is the one who's protecting you. But how many will want to get saved? That choice rests in your hand only, whether to follow him or not. It's a very sad story when I see many people going and falling in the gutters, in the misery of the destiny. Here God Almighty is telling, hold my hand. I'm here to save you. But those people will say, no, I want to fall. I want to get drowned. I don't want your help, God. Because I love to go through that misery. I need to enjoy that misery in my life. That is how people are. Very sad. So my Guruji was giving this example. So this person was very clearly told, do not get married. But the person insists that I have to get married. So now what happens? The destiny takes over. Finish. And that's it. End of Solomon Grundy. You can't then undo what has happened. And you know what? For the rest of your life, that person will have to live in misery and regret. Because once you get into that, destiny cannot be then, taken back. That is what happens. So that is the power of Maya. And now what we have to do? So when Maya starts to run, but it cannot, because as soon as the name of Hari is loudly spoken, Maya subsides and dies on the spot. So that is why my Guruji says you have to sing the bhajans of the God, sing his praises, sing the glories, talk about his stories. You have to always take his name. That is what you have to be. That time Maya subsides. So my point, what I was trying to say is, so when the Guruji tests, depending on how strong, how much you have faith, the Maya works accordingly. So if you are able to transcend that Maya, if you overcome that, then that Maya will disappear. Means what? He will just remove it out. Whatever the problem that you think was will just disappear automatically. That's what he means by saying the Maya dies right at that moment. Because of your devotion and faith in your Guru. That's what the truth is. But when you question, the Maya becomes strong in your life. And then you have to fight it. And it is going to become stronger and stronger because you are giving it importance, because you don't have faith in your Guru. That's what happens. Then, therefore, this extraordinary Maya of Hari cannot affect his devotees. That is only when you have the devotion to your Guru and God, that is Krishna Bhagwan, then it doesn't affect the devotees. What kind of devotees? 24/7, they'll only be thinking about one thing, and that is Lord Shri Krishna Bhagwan. None. Their Guru is their ultimate God. And we're going to learn in this verse, in the sub verses, how you have to revere the Guru is given, the most important being in your life, in this entire universe. The greatness of the Guru is little bit explained in this in a very powerful manner. You will understand why it is so important and why I'm emphasizing. And if you do not develop this, and there is no point in being in spiritual world and telling that I have a Guru, because that you're not working to change your destiny, and then you're not making use of that privilege that you have of having a Guru. Why do we need a Guru? Because we can overcome this destiny. We can get out of the system of birth and death, the cycle of material worldly existence, which is unreal. Then the the power of the name of Hari is so strange that no force of Maya can work against it, and therefore the devotees of Hari happily and safely go beyond Maya. This is the promise of God Himself. Krishna Bhagwan Himself promises this, that you can go beyond Maya because it is His Maya. But what is missing? Guru Bhakti, Guru Seva, devotion, exclusive devotion, absolute faith. The faith is not 99.99%. There are no ifs and buts in that faith. Complete surrender. No, I will surrender. I will surrender. Yes, surrender keeps happening. Percentage. So nothing works. Next, unconditional pure love. What is it? Unconditional. Yeah, God, you give me this, then I love you. My love is so much. You give me $100 million, I will then give you my 50% love. This is not a barter system. No matter what it is, unconditional love. Mirabai did not say that I am married, so I cannot love. My husband comes as priority. No, she never said that. I am, in my heart, I am married to Krishna Bhagwan. He is my husband. That is what she told her husband. Do you have that kind of a devotion? And do you have the guts to even say that? That is what is important. She did not run away anywhere. She didn't do. She was just carrying a small idol of Krishna. Till her death, she didn't want to meet Krishna Bhagwan. But you know what? When she was given the poison that turned into Amrit, nectar, that is what God proved. She knows that Krishna is there. He will take care. I don't even have to bother. That was her devotion. Where is your devotion and faith? You have to ask. This is a big question. Next. So, therefore, the devotees, the power of the name of Hari is so strange that no force of Maya can work against it, and therefore the devotees of Hari happily and safely go beyond Maya. This is the promise of God Himself. He is giving you the promise. But what promise are you making? Not even a single promise. Every word that comes from our mouth, Guruji, I will do this, I will do that. Nobody can keep that promise to the Guru. So that is why my Guruji will say, don't speak. First do and then tell. Because the moment you say, you are never going to do it. I have seen, this has been the case with so many people and including myself. Initially, we all get excited. Guruji, I want to do this for you. I want to do this. I want to do that. We are all excited. We love to spout all that. But when it is coming to perform for Krishna Bhagwan, please understand, you will fail big time. Because you've already proved, you say it. The moment the words come, what happens? It gets destroyed because there is ego in that. I am going to do. I cannot do it for him. We have to just do it quietly. You know why? Because he gets it done through you. So the willingness to do has to be yours. The effort has to be yours. But do not use that I am going to do this. Never ever say that. Because everything that you say, you will not be able to perform. That's how Maya works. So be very careful what you commit and you keep up. Keeping up the word is very important. Know this. A lot of people have said a lot of things and not been able to keep even 1% of their, the thing that they big talks that they give. Nothing. So be very careful what you commit and you need to stick to that. And when you do, please understand, the Lord's universe works in favor of you. And it supports you to make that happen because you know what? Maya loves her master most, more than you can ever imagine. And she will ensure that everything falls in place for you to get that work done, provided you do it. But when you're not doing, and she knows that he's up, these people are not doing, then she's going to work against you, not with you. She's never going to work in favor of you. Same with Prakriti also. So always make sure that you're not saying but doing it. Continue to do humility and humbleness, not with pride and ego. It's never going to be accepted. So this is a very important lesson. Then we'll do one last verse and we'll stop here. The devotion of God, fondness, all the the devotion of God fondles all the four types of freedom, namely Salokta, Samipta, Sarupta, and Sayujata in its lap. And if the scientists and the pundits do not have such one-pointed devotion, they will never attain freedom. This is very beautifully, these are the four kinds of, the closeness you can experience with the Divine Lord. And this was explained by my Guruji in one of the satsangs. And in that, what he's saying is, everybody, there are four kinds, and each one can experience one of this. But he's very clear. If the scientists and the pundits do not have such single-pointed devotion, they will never attain freedom. Never, ever. Take it for guarantee. This is Eknath Maharaj talking, and this is the last message of Sri Krishna Paramatma. This knowledge given to Uddhava before he left his mortal body on this planet Earth. So it's a very, very important lesson. So please understand, no reading of any Vedas, reciting for any Suktams, all saying or going to a million temple, doing all sorts of pariharams, puja, nothing you're going to get. On the contrary, it's going to act against you. So please understand the truth, and no freedom so doesn't exist. And you can't even experience this four types of closeness to the God. You can't. So what is important? Single pointed devotion, one pointed devotion. He's repeating this over and over and over again. Four words which matter in Krishna Bhagwan's life: absolute faith, complete surrender. Number 3 is exclusive, unconditional, pure love. And the last one is exclusive devotion. Till you do not practice, till your heart doesn't fill with that, till you don't cry buckets for your Gurudev, this cannot be achieved. So with that, we will stop here. We have subverse 474 we have stopped, and we'll continue in our next class. Thank you for joining Sri Eknathi Bhagwat Satsang. Have a good day and good evening to you all. God bless.
Recording stopped.